I don't think it's necessarily going away, but the vast majority of people who are consuming social media content are beginning to believe that it's all fake and that it's it's a problem, and these platforms know it, and they know that, you have this many people looking, but the conversion that was once there, which social media is there to sell you stuff on a lot of different levels, and they're not seeing the conversion like they once did, and it's very concerning for these platforms. So we're back. It's now the aftermath of Thanksgiving, 1 week later, or almost a week later. How are you, Chris? How was your Thanksgiving?
We are back. Yeah, I'm pretty good. Thanksgiving was good. Only minimal in-law battles. We kept it to a dull roar, but it was good. How about yourself?
It was great. It was great. Had family over. It was pretty low-key. Made a conscious effort to try to not to eat too much, and I failed.
Yeah, I just, I had like one little plate, but it was mostly focused on multiple plates of dessert.
Yeah, that's unfortunately how it always goes too. I always I'm not a huge turkey guy by any means, and so I eat that with the hope of what comes in the form of a pie. That's usually how I phrase it.
Yeah, no, exactly. I don't think there's any need to eat turkey on a holiday. To me, it sounds a little. I'm pushing for the lasagna.
Yeah, there you go. I like that.
But we'll see. It's not happening yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you let me know how you get that to work, because usually I asked this Thanksgiving, I said, hey, why don't we do a prime rib or something like that? And I was told no. So there we go.
That sounds. I mean, I make a killer horseradish cream. If you ever need that recipe,
whoa,
it's game changing,
man. Yeah,
we make a boneless rib every Christmas.
So yeah, so do I. But you had me at horseradish, so I will definitely.
I'll send it over.
Yeah, cool. I love it. But I was going to tell you, I get questions a lot. Well, not a lot, but maybe on a biweekly basis or weekly basis about, hey, all right, I'm jumping in. I've been listening to the Content Crib podcast. I've been talking to you guys. What do I need to get to jump in? And I'm like, all right. So I have a list ready that I send people of, hey, this is all you need to get going. And then there's also degrees of how much of a pro you want to look, or how much of a you want to invest in it. So I thought, man, let's talk about that today a little bit. If that's cool with you.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, it's this is really like, so if you're watching us on YouTube, Chris and I have really nice microphones, and we've got the whole headphone set up. Listen, if you got a computer and you've got a laptop, or you have, which of course you do, you have one of these, you're in business and you can go for it. Start today. And whether that's personalized video, sharing your thoughts, sharing your message, whatever that looks like for you, you can do it, and it's inexpensive, it's easy. And now with an iPhone, or an Android, if you're that green person in the group text world, you can easily do it with an Android as well. So anyway, it's really easy. I have a laptop that when I started out, and I don't know about you, Chris, when I started out, I literally had a laptop, and I put it on a stand up high and used that camera, and away I went. That was it. That's all I had. And of course I had a phone. Then, as I did things out and about in the world, I used a phone, but that was really how I got going. So how about you? Where did you start?
Well, I started with you actually, but I had this mic I got on eBay, which has been working out wonderfully the last 3 years for different presentations and whatnot. I even keep it at a camera site if it's, a little pretentious for the moment. But, when we record the podcast, I want to have the best audio quality. So I, make sure I use it close to where I'm speaking. But I think, for a lot of people, the equipment's really not the barrier. I think it's the unwillingness to let it rip, right? Like, be yourself, sound human. It's, so cliche, but it's so true.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. And, once people start, then I get them coming back with, okay, what kind of microphone do you use? And I don't really have I have a much more expensive microphone, but this one is a Samsung one. I think I got it for like $99 on Amazon or something like that. And this boom arm was like $30, and it plugs right into my computer, and away I go. Now I have I run my camera is actually my Sony EV10 with a lens on it that I run through. That you don't have to do that in any way, shape, or form. But if you want to, that kind of gives me my blurred background here. But most people just use a webcam, and you get the same exact results that I get with my kind of bougie camera that I use.
Yeah, I have the Shure 230 microphone and then a cheap $25 Nexigo camera on Amazon that works great. It does great with the audio, excuse me, with the lighting adjustments for different, because not only the podcasts have different views of how the video looks, but all these different video call formats have different, like Teams looks different from Google Meet, looks different from Zoom. Like I find that Google Meet, I know getting off topic a little bit, but
No, go ahead, because I was going to.
most people are using it multiple reasons, right? So Google Meet can be like darker. So I try to find a camera that has good lighting adjustment.
Yeah, that's smart, because you're right. I was going to say, if you know, your camera effects are going to be very different with whatever platform or whatever you're joining in, and everybody's been on Zoom or Google Meet or Teams or whatever one is going on at that point in time, and it is very different. I always get the question of, what kind of camera are you using? And I'm like, I just feed mine through a camera with a lens, so that's why I can get the effects that I do. But you don't in any way, shape, or form need that.
Well, we talked about the equipment. Let's talk about how we get it recorded.
Yeah, that's very interesting, because I'll let you take this, because there's several different methods, but we like a couple different ones.
Yeah, I like Squadcast seems to be working out great. I'm really enjoying that.
Yeah, Squadcast is good. I have people, which just makes me think about it. We also have Riverside that we never use. We have Riverside. Riverside's nice too, and it works well. We take this, and we have an editor and kind of a production team. This is probably just one guy over in a different part of the world that does the editing for us. But one thing I liked about Squadcast is it kind of records two different tracks of people. So each person has their recording and their track done for them, which is, I guess, in the world of editing, a better thing. I don't know why, but it is.
Yeah, and I think that the other big thing is, if you decide to get going, whether if not you have, a friend like we do here, or you're just going to record by yourself, is, the biggest challenge, and we run into it too, is the guests. Getting guests on is super difficult. And then understanding what kind of guests you want to get on, and what is your goal? Is your goal for podcasts, is it business development? Is it crafting your voice? Is it both? Is it networking? Is it just talking about a hobby, passion? Does it have something to do with your career? So I think identifying all those things probably first before you get into the equipment and software side of it. What is your why? What is your why behind wanting to get on and talk about things? We, on the Content Crib podcast, we talk about personal branding, AI, tech, healthcare, state of medicine, and, anything else that's going, in terms of business development, or I don't know, turkey, yeah. I guess.
Turkey, horseradish.
Yeah.
You tell what I have on my mind after the horseradish talk. Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, that's, and as you move forward and everything you're listening to about us, and you're saying to yourself, yeah, you're right, I need to share this, or I need to share that. I mean, just do it, and make sure whatever you do, you just start. And that's the biggest thing. And it's so many people ask me, like, man, you've been doing this, how did you learn to do this, and how did you learn to do that, and why did you? And I'm like, I just hit the red button and hit record and started. And it was really, really bad when I first started. It was extremely bad.
Oh yeah. I mean, you carried me for mine. Thank God. I mean, I was like, what? I've been recording videos for years, but still, it's just something about like recording and conversing.
Yeah.
It's different.
So
there's definitely a fear.
It's it's abnormal for sure. And you do it, and as I always say to everybody, it's like, I don't know, man, I can't record a video. I'm like, well, you can walk down a hallway and talk to somebody. It's just it's the same exact thing. It's just repetition of having the fear. Fear will always be there. Just learn how to embrace it and move on to the next thing.
Yeah. And then the other thing is as you get, started, some of the statistics that come out about consistency, you can argue both sides of it. Consistency is key, or is it really relevance is key? I think you got to be consistent and relevant. And so focusing on those two things are probably the most important, because you want to drop episodes that people are tuning in for a reason. and you want to make sure you're delivering, on that schedule that that they're expecting, whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, once a month, once a quarter. But I mean, you're better off making sure it's quality over quantity, though. So
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And all that being said, it is not going to be great the first time you do it, and that's okay. I mean, it's the first. I did a podcast for years that I think the first probably 30 or 40 episodes, I never went back and listened to it. And I purposely didn't go back and listen to it because I know I'd go, oh, that's bad. Oh, that's terrible. I got to change this. I got to change that. And it's the same thing with anything you do. Just record and do it. It's the vast majority of it. I'm going to give everybody I don't know, they probably already know this or maybe they don't. I'm going to give everybody a tip. Nobody really listens in depth to everything you say. Never. They just know that you said something to it. And the human brain, and we talk about this all the time, the human brain does not know where it received information or what medium it was or what method it was. It doesn't remember. It just remembers the information. Now, you might remember where you were, but you don't say to yourself, you know what? I heard that on a CD in 1994. You don't do that. You just know that information was there and you listened and you absorbed it.
yeah, and the reason why you started or thinking about starting the podcast isn't like technical, right? It's that you're terrified of sounding less polished than you do in writing, and that's a good thing. It's called authenticity, and it's really the only reason anyone will listen past that episode 1. It's the same thing we talk about personalized video. Don't worry about the ums and the the stutters or whatnot. That's just showing that you're human. And the people that are going in the right direction, writing more human, sending videos, it's going to be the most remembered person in social media going forward with all this AI crap that's constant.
Well, speaking of the AI crap, the biggies like Alex Hormozy and Gary Vaynerchuk are talking about how social media is dying, that it's going away. So I'm going to get controversial here. I don't think it's necessarily going away, but the vast majority of people who are consuming consuming social media content are beginning to believe that it's all fake and that it's a problem, and these platforms know it, and they know that you have this many people looking, but the conversion that was once there, which social media is there to sell you stuff on a lot of different levels, and they're not seeing the conversion like they once did, and it's very concerning for these platforms. So
yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, keep going on that if you got some more.
yeah, no, it's just I probably need to get more hobbies, but I study all this stuff constantly, and I listened to a long thing that Alex Hormozy talked about, and I kind of see him as a, he gets it and he studies it way more than I do, and he just all of the stuff on social media is so fake and it's so AI driven at this point that you're kind of watching things and you're saying to yourself, is this real or is it not? And then it goes to, well, I don't really want to watch things that are not real. And that's why we talk about all the time, personalized videos and you messing up. It's not, you're not creating a television show. You're creating your thoughts and your value, and you're sending it out to the world.
Yeah, I was actually reading an article on Forbes and personal branding that came out a couple days ago, and they're talking about how the concept of personal branding has been around since Tom Peters' iconic '97 book Brand You Manifesto. I think it was an article, actually. I don't know. I haven't read it, but I need to check it out. They're just saying how personal brand is now essential, and there's ways to use AI, right, to help augment you or increase your creativity or format what you're doing or what you want to create. Definitely do that, but make sure it still is authentic to what you're doing, and at least you're making those efforts to build it, because so many people aren't. But yeah, personal branding has always been about authenticity, and that foundation is just even more more important.
Yeah. No, I talk about it all the time with people, and it's funny because we work with clients that are trying to provide their thought leadership to the world and share their message. And it's funny, like this week I think we're at 2 or 3 different AI based companies that are trying to bring their product to the marketplace, and we're helping them humanize what they're doing. And we're, trying to have these founders who have these companies, these AI companies in healthcare, present to the world who they are, what the value is, and they got to do it themselves, because I keep saying this over and over and over to people. The AI bros tell you that all this stuff is, it's going to get so good, you're not even going to have any idea, and it's that this is not real, or this person's not real. And I agree. So people are going to be starving to go listen to people who are authentic. And that may become more physical meetups. I don't know what that's going to look like, but you're okay with your ums and your uhs when you're sharing your message.
Yeah, I mean, OpenAI can build the smartest model in the world, right? But they can't make your oncologist or orthopedic surgeon trust it, right? That's the job of the person doing it, right? AI companies need a voice because their technology is only as valuable as how much it's adopted. An adoption rate requires a human face telling a story and explaining why it's going to make their lives easier and it won't kill someone's patient. And AI companies speak in capabilities, and healthcare speaks in outcomes. You need to talk about those outcomes as a user or as a creator that's been in the trenches with a certain product, and that takes a human to do that. And it's not just these AI producers or builders of these companies that are just out of touch with reality. You need to translate fear of implementation into confidence, and that's only done by the end user and the human being.
Yeah, man, I couldn't have said it any better. That's really well said. It's going to become more and more an issue for companies saying to themselves, "Hey, I want to start giving, I want to have value go out to the world here, and this is how I want to share it." They're going to have to really understand how they're going to share it, because the clutter that I call of the AI world, people are turning it off. And I know they keep saying, "Oh, it's just going to get so good that you're not going to know." Well, again, what they're going to do is they're not going to listen at all, and that's the problem.
Yeah. I mean, right now, AI stories written by these tech bros and fear-mongering journalists, and neither of them have closed a deal with, a hospital CMO. These AI companies need, real-world people to rewrite the narrative to implement some of these, and I'm specifically talking about AI healthcare products because that's the world we live in and what we see. But they need practitioners to rewrite the narrative from "this will replace you" to "this will save you."
And it's a fantastic augment, and saves you time, and allows you to do, what it really does is allows you to do other things that are more pressing by using AI to do that. Yeah, and that's so perfectly said, because the AI bros want to tell you, "Yep, your job's going to go away next Tuesday." And yeah, well, some of that happens, sure, but for the vast majority of us, no, it's not going to happen. It's going to be an augment to what you're doing in order to help you long term.
Yeah, I mean, it's specifically in healthcare, just because, again, that's what we do. Healthcare doesn't adopt new technology because it's innovative. It adopts it because someone they trust said, "I use this and I'm still a good doctor." AI companies can't give that permission. Only humans who've earned that can. And I've seen that with different products that have gone to market and failed. And they've tried to add, thought leaders and people and doctors in the space that they just weren't a good fit. They weren't really connecting with the audience, mostly because they weren't involved in the development of the product and couldn't really demo it or explain truly why it was so great. And we're just talking about, all the time-saving things, which are good, but it doesn't really get down to the brass tacks of the products and, how it really can give you money back, not just save money, and, make your days easier. And every AI company claims their tool will revolutionize medicine. But when you say this, like, you're only worth more than, the entire marketing budget that's saying this. Only you that is in the trenches of using these things can tell that truth. I really believe that.
Yeah, no, that's very well said. And back to, in medicine or in healthcare, people adopt things from people they trust. It's kind of why they have surgeons and doctors get up on the stage in front of a mic and tell you all about what they're doing and why they're doing it and the products that they use. The reason they do that is because people trust that person. They're going to adopt them, and they're not going to trust a fake AI person talking to them through a screen. At least not now. Will that change in the future? I don't know.
Yeah, it might. But and I just want to be clear because I want to pivot to back to personal branding, because this is a really important point that we talk. I don't know if we talk about it enough. Maybe we do, but personal branding is not about being famous. It's about being selectively relevant to the audience that you're trying to serve, and it's about the audience, not about you. And that's means being known by the people who can influence what you're doing. So people that are concerned about writing online, starting a podcast, like we're talking about all the tools and need to do it. At the end of the day, they still probably have a little fear of like, well, I don't want to put my voice out there, or I'm not trying to be famous. But you're also motivated by other reasons. You want to, pivot your career. You believe passionately about something, and only you can tell that story. Well, that's a way to tell it. And you're not trying to be famous. You're trying to serve.
Yeah, no, it's provide value. It's what it's all about. Well, I think we're at that magic time where episode 22 is over, and we're in December, barreling towards the end of the year. So this should be a fun time of year here for the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, let's get a guest on for the next one. Let's make a commitment to the audience.
Yeah, we're going to do that. We've got lots of invitations out, and we're hoping that someone will take us up on it. So fingers crossed.
All right, thanks, Eric.
Yeah.